Alright, welcome to the 5th episode of Pen Rambling. So in this episode we are going to talk about the nib sizes. So I don't have all the nib sizes, I only buy the sizes that I usually would use. So we are going to talk about a few things in this episode. Alright, so the first thing is about I'm going to talk about the nib size as in the tip of the nib sizes, not the comparison by number 5, number 6 that you always see. If I have time, I'll put it in for comparison's sake. Okay, so there are two major sizes in fountain pen world. So one is the European nib sizes and the other one is the Japanese nib sizes. So as you can see in front of you, there is a few fountain pen here and there. So I have these four are considered as the Japanese fountain pen. So they will have the Japanese nib size, and then I'm going to pull out another one, and this two fountain pen will be the European size. One is Twisby, the other one is Faber-Castell. So these two is under European sizes. Generally people will assume that Japanese will be a bit finer when it comes to the size of their corresponding with the European one. So it means that if it's a Japanese fine, sometimes it will be extra fine on the European sizes most of the time. But sometimes it is quite comparable. I mean, they do be a bit finer, but not much sometimes. I'll show you why later on with a little bit of writing sample. Alright, so that will be the nib sizes. And then the nib sizes are usually, they are usually extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and then there will be bonuses here and there throughout different pen manufacturer. Sometimes you get extra fine, soft fine, soft medium, and then you get medium fine, and then you can get double broad. If you want to go a little bit more, it will be zoom, italic, music. So those are the general extra bonus nib that you may find in certain pen. Right? So for example, like Sailor, if it's, I'm going to move out. So if it's Sailor, sometimes for their special edition pen, they will have a special nib, zoom nib. Zoom nib is a rounder version of italic nib. Alright, I don't have the zoom nib with me because I don't use a zoom nib to write. If one day I do have it, I may insert a clip in here, maybe. Alright, the next thing that we look in the nib sizes is which one is to choose. Now if you're collecting pen, just like what I mentioned in my earlier episode 1, sometimes we'll just collect the whole bunch because we're a collector, right? They will collect from the smallest size up to the largest size available. Those are the people who collect pen. But for me, most of my pen is in medium. Most of my pen is in medium. So I tend to go for medium. But not all pen have option to choose. For example, Sailor is quite known for certain pen to come only in one size, which is medium fine. So medium fine runs in between the fine and the medium for sailor nib. So I'm going to show you a little bit of sample writing later in a moment. Alright, we are going to say which one to choose. If you're buying for everyday use, or you're buying so that you can write, buy the size that you are comfortable with. So if you're a person who write fine, you love that fine stroke, then go for either it's fine or sometimes medium. Okay. Now if you love to see the properties of inks, okay, for example, oh, I did forget, other than italic, zoom and music, sometimes there is a stub nib. Okay, stub nib. Certain manufacturer pen offer stub nib 1.1, 1.5, 2.0, something like that. Alright, going back to the nib size. So if you love to see the characteristic of an ink, you can choose you can choose the nib that is larger. For example, broad, double broad, zoom, okay, italic, stub, music. Now not all retailer, not all people, shops will sell the special or the bonus nib. So this is what I meant by if you want to go broader, then you see the characteristic of the pen. Okay, so if I'm going to write here, for example, nib size, I want to see that it will change. Okay, so this is as well. Okay. Alright, so you may be able to see that if I use a bit of a broader one, you can see the shading property of this ink. Okay, of course it's not the same, but you can see that there is a shading upon, sorry, you can see the shading. Shading means that the color of the places is different. So top here the color is slightly lighter, and then when it comes to the bottom here it will be a bit darker. So there is a variation in the ink shading, so that's what it's called shading. So if it's on a finer nib, which is this one, and it is not a very good example. Alright, so if it's on the finer nib, this is medium fine, you will see that the ink property doesn't usually show. So people sometimes use finer tip for a paper that is like this. Okay, so I'm gonna write a word. Alright, and you see that, just like I mentioned previously, that fountain pen friendly paper versus the normal copier paper. So finer nibs will do better on crappy paper, just to say that. Okay, and then if it's for fountain pen friendly paper, which is this one, okay, the one with the line, so that one will be a lot finer. I'm going to show you another one. Okay, so this is a fine nib from from Platinum. Heavy focus. Okay, and then I'm going to write the same word, and you will see that it is a lot broader when it is written on paper that is not fountain pen friendly. Okay, so if you want to write finer, or because the paper that you will be using is not a fountain pen friendly type of paper, and you don't mind the finer line, okay, so you can choose either fine or medium. So fine and medium depending on which type of nib. Is it the European or is it the Japanese? So Japanese, you can go either fine or medium. But if it's on the European, either it's extra fine or fine, because medium tends to be a lot broader. Okay, so I have a medium here, which is this one. Okay, medium here, which is this. If I write them here, it will be a lot broader. Okay, so see that this one is a bit finer, and then when it's written on poor quality paper, this is going to happen. The ink will expand. When it expands, because this paper will soak the ink, it makes it goes broader. Okay, so this is what I'm going to talk about for nib size. For comparison's sake, there is another thing that you want to know about nib size, is the size by this. Okay, I have two nib here, which is different in size, as in this one. Okay, this one is a lot smaller compared to this one. Okay, if I put them side by side, you can see that it is a lot smaller. Okay, I'm gonna turn down the If I put another one next to this Platinum 3776, you will see that it is also going to be small. See? Okay, so it is kind of like small. So this is another thing when people say the nib size. So make sure they're talking about the nib size as in comparison by these two sizes, or the size of the tipping, which is the medium, the broad, the fine, and all those things, right? So this is my sharing for today. All the pens that you see here are bought from my own money. If you wish to get any of these pens, you can survey a lot of resellers, such as for Malaysia, usually it will be Pen Gallery. So if you're outside of Malaysia, you can get them from US, for example, Gule Pen. Not affiliating, they're not sponsoring my video. So this is my sharing for today. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.